Welcome back. So, as I mentioned in the other video, I wanted to talk a little bit about our bundles. So, again, this is coming from, different teachings that I've gathered over the years and have listened to. And it's really important for when we're starting to build our bundles to really understand, how do we take care of one? What all goes into creating a bundle and carrying one? I know when I first started to walk in this way, you know, um, I had thought, at one point that it was really important to have a big bundle. I'm not quite sure why I thought that. I think that was just, um, that was kind of the mentality that a lot of people had. And that was kind of the thought. And as I started to walk this path, I realized that actually, the more things you have, right, the more items that you are caretaking for, really the more responsibility you have. And I think that that's really important to share with people because, when we talk about, walking these ways, it's actually very similar to how we talk about caretaking for the land, right? When we talk about being in relation with the land and, you know, standing up for our mother, being in connection, a lot of what we're talking about is, taking up our responsibilities to care, to caretake, to steward, to be stewards. And what that really means is when we do this, we volunteer and stand up to take care of something. And the way I was taught when it comes to bundle items is, everything, and we've had this conversation before in other videos, is the fact that everything has spirit, right? Spirit is in everything. Spirit is in, me, it's in you. Spirit is out in the world. Spirit is in my little dog here. He has a spirit. Everything has a spirit, right? Even the chair I'm sitting in, came from the earth. Everything came from the earth. So everything has spirit. So even our bundle items, especially so, contain spirit in them. And the way I was taught when it comes to the bundle is really carrying and caretaking for these things as if they were your grandparents, right? As if they were your family, because they are. And, when you make a drum or you make a shaker, it's important when you're doing that to know why you're doing it, right? What's the intention that you have behind carrying it? So I just wanted to share a little bit of that with you, and also talk about the fact that, if you don't feel that you're ready for that responsibility, that's okay. That's totally okay. And it's actually really, really good to acknowledge that, right? Because not everybody is at that space, and that's okay. Because that's really talking about all of us being at a different part of our journeys. And so I would say for those of you who are participating in our wellness bundle, I would say, in that it contains a drum kit and a shaker kit, right? For you to start to walk that way and start that part of your journey. But I would just encourage you to go inward and really sit with, am I ready to carry that responsibility? Because another thing I was taught, say, for example, with the drum, as a drum carrier, if you have these items and, it's even similar to if you're a pipe carrier, right? I'm a pipe carrier, and, that was a big deal for me to go through. But it's a big deal because it's a big responsibility, like I said. And with that goes, the expectation, from spirit, but also from your community, that if you carry those things, if you get asked to go to support, essentially as a shkabe, as a helper, you go, right? It's almost kind of like a requirement. So, if, yes, it's important that we can, and it's okay for us to use the bundle for ourselves, like I had mentioned in the other video, but also just to remember that you may eventually start to get asked to do other things, and you may, be called upon. So what I'm saying in this is just to be prepared, right? To be prepared for the fact that that could be a possibility. And do you have the capacity, right? And it's okay if you don't. And that doesn't mean you're never going to have the capacity to do it and to carry those responsibilities. It just may mean that it comes a little bit later. So this is just me saying to you, if you feel like, your time is not right now to carry those things, right? To carry that responsibility, that's okay. It can come later. So I really, really just implore you to check in with yourself, connect to yourself, and, ask your spirit, like, are we ready? Are we going to do this? Right? And kind of go from there. And also just to care for your items with a lot of love, right? And, it, with all the things that come with it, even down to, it's a kind of like when, we have a drum, right? And, we get a drum bag, we get, get things to carry them in. That's all part of it. That's part of taking care of the spirit that's in here, right? That comes with this. So just wanted to put that out there for everybody, that, go at your own pace, go with what your spirit's called to do, and really check in, if you are at that place where you can, you want to carry, you're ready to carry, and carry that responsibility as part of your medicine, right? And to know, again, as a reminder, that if you don't have these items, you do still have the elements at your disposal, at your you have access to them to call in for help. So always remember that. And again, thank you so much for sitting with me, and I wish you well on the journey, and I hope our paths cross again. Miigwech. Now.